So Les Misérables 2019 was the biggest and finest production I think we've ever put on at school. We had the biggest cast ever, we had the biggest student contingent involved, backstage, on stage, we had dancers, singers, actors from all year groups. We had to be a little careful with our prep school students because it's obviously quite an adult themed, a lot of death and destruction and things going on, so we needed to be careful, but we needed children's roles, so we had lots of enthusiasm from the bottom end of the school. The students were unbelievably excited about putting on such a spectacular show.
It was beyond anything we've ever done before at Seaford. It just broke the mould and went, all the children who were involved were just spectacular, and it was something that was very special and I think we'll struggle to outdo.
When Ms Reynolds told me it was going to be Les Misérables, I was so excited. It was one of my favourite shows to see on the West End. Seen it 5-6 times, and yeah, really phenomenal show to be part of. Such an enormous production. Just to start imagining when she first told me that it was going to be Les Mis, all the people in the roles, what we could do with the set, costumes, it was so exciting to be part of. My
whole performing life I've wanted to be able to put on Les Misérables, but you have to be very careful with young voices. It's very important that you're not pushing and giving them things to do that are out of their compass, and this is a very adult through composed musical. And last year I remember being very excited after The Sound of Music, thinking there might be a cast for Les Mis here, and was delighted when we announced we got the enthusiasm we wanted and the auditions came along, and we had some superb auditions. We had more auditionees than ever. We cast a fantastic cast. Some roles were double cast because we saw huge potential and very different performances from our students, so they got to do 2 nights each if they were double cast.
The rehearsals that we did for Les Mis were fairly rigorous. We managed to break it down for principal roles who had individual rehearsals so that they got more sort of fine-tuned directing from Sara and the team. And then when the whole cast turned up, it usually was a great sort of sing-along, and yeah, the children just did so well.
We had some extraordinary voice progression going on. We have a team of fabulous singing teachers here. When they knew what roles had been cast and what chorus needed to be done, the work that went on in singing lessons was just fabulous. The students progressed immeasurably with their teachers on things that they needed to work at, particularly some of our leading roles who were singing on stage for 2 hours almost non-stop, so needed stamina, they needed direction, they needed, you know, so much input. They had the input and the results were stupendous. We had 4 nights of a remarkable show. Every single night the children were awarded a standing ovation from the audiences. I've never had, my inbox has never been so full from the response. What's incredible is that even after the Easter holidays and 6 or 8 weeks later, I was still receiving thank you cards and congratulations cards and just wonderful messages from people who'd been so touched to see students performing at such a high calibre, and that means everything.
I was just so overwhelmed with pride for all the students involved. It was such a wonderful feeling to see all the hard work paid off in the audience's reaction, and all the comments that were made were just so gratefully received, but just so sincere. People were genuinely blown away, and I think credit to all the students involved.
Oh, I was so proud. Such a proud moment. Yeah, I mean, the first night there was a few technical hitches that we came through, and the cast covered it really well. To us, it was slightly annoying, but to the kids, they rose above it, and the cast handled it so well. And to have 4 ovations, it was such a proud moment. Sara and I cried on the last night, and yeah, it was a really nice moment to be seeing. So proud for the kids and so happy for the kids to have experienced that.
So Javert's stunt was a huge undertaking. There were several people involved, students and teachers. My role in Javert's suicide, the stunt, was to look after Fergus's legs as he fell backwards into complete darkness, and we had a whole team of students who were also involved in catching him without being seen, which was quite a challenge.
So obviously the content of Les Mis is incredibly adult, and big themes of emotion and drama, sadness, death, destruction, revolution at its heart. But amongst all of that, there's love and there's camaraderie, there's brotherhood, there's so much for the children to get their teeth sunk into that really revolves around real life, obviously set in a historical context. They understood so easily. They used tools that we gave them to, there was a drama on TV at the time that we happened to be preparing for it. That was very useful. Obviously there's a very famous movie that's been put out a couple of years ago that they were all watching, and we took them to see it at the theatre in January as well, which they thought was fabulous to see professionals doing the show. What was amazing about this production is that we've asked of our children enormous amounts in the past with the plays and the performances, the dance shows that they've put on, but this one requires all disciplines. It requires everyone to be in an extremely high standard. I think we had in excess of 200 costumes, and many characters and students had to change 3, 4, 5 times in quick time, working with radio mics, working with, a backstage area that was quite, well managed, well mastered by the team that were there, but they had to be super swift and very professional. Compared to other shows, that's a huge step up into the world of the professional theatre. So this year we decided to bring in a production company to work alongside our high standards, and M3 Productions are a company that I was recommended, who particularly work brilliantly with youth theatre. Their team came in from the very beginning, the last beginning of the academic year, and planned the most magnificent backstage technical team, stage manager, lighting designer, whatever, and had the students involved from the outset as well. So one of our students who was working backstage on sound throughout the rehearsals was able to become the mic technician for all the performances, which was fabulous. So what was amazing was being part of their emotional journey every night, watching them lay their souls on the stage every night to give of their very best, and watching the response of the audience and feeling the response of the audience and the leaping to the feet of the audience, which meant that every single night there was a massive standing ovation and riotous applause that went on for a huge amount of time, giving back to the children all that they deserved for everything that they'd put into the show.